Horse Tales is proudly brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. South Carolina, a true leader in the equine industry.
Folks, Horse Tales is like Willie Nelson. We on the road again. Where are we at this morning, Wiley?
Well, David, we are in Dillon County. We are in Hamer, South Carolina at Gene Driggers' farm. This is where it all starts. This is where the heart ride starts. Gene Driggers gets a crowd here. They hitch up their mules to the wagon. We also have some horse riders, and they spend 6 days on the road traveling from Dillon County to Myrtle Beach for the heart ride.
So we're going to put some serious miles in today. Got my chaps on, getting ready to ride.
Well, David, we came from Marble County and Florence County, but we have some folks that came all the way from Pennsylvania, so this is a big deal, and I'm really excited to be invited by Gene to take part in this. So yeah, I got my riding breeches on.
Well, folks, this is a really big deal. Gene, it'll be a week from now, he'll arrive down at Lakewood Campground, and we'll be down a day or two after to finish this show. What's going to be a great two-parter. Richard might even let me do a three-parter. So folks, we're going to have a great time this morning in my home county, Dillon County, so stay tuned for some great horse tales. Horse Tales is being brought to you today by Carolina Fresh Foods. Folks, we are Fresh Delicious. Equestrian Images, making memories together. Hey folks, Warren E. Coker Farm for the best cultural Bermuda hay available in the Southeast. Brought to you by Southern Equine Service in Aiken, South Carolina, a full-service equine veterinarian practice offering ambulatory and hospital services. The South Carolina Horsemen's Council is the voice of the Palmetto State's equine industry. The South Carolina Horsemen's Council primary purpose is to provide information to the general public, the media and government agencies about issues and activities that impact the South Carolina equine community. If you are a horse owner in the state of South Carolina, you need to be a member of the South Carolina Horsemen's Council so we can have a voice about equine issues in our state. For more information, go to schorsecouncil.org. Folks, the PD Cowboy arrives for the brand, and my brand is Carolina Fresh Foods. We have a new product out on the range, so ride on into your local Piggly Wiggly or other fine retailer and ask for Carolina Fresh Premium Leg Quarter. And folks, if they don't have one in the corral, tell them to get cracking and call the old PD Cowboy and his elite posse of chicken wranglers. Carolina Fresh Foods, the name says it all. We are Fresh Delicious.
2014 is the year of the horse. The South Carolina Department of Agriculture is working to promote your horses and your business. We are working to open new areas for trail use and to let the public know how important horses are. South Carolina has world-class horses and horse people. From race horses to show horses, we have the best. The South Carolina Department of Agriculture, letting people know how important horses are.
There once was a hungry road that wouldn't let drivers get very far. It wore out their tires, forcing them to buy new ones time and time again. Then along came the Michelin man who proved the right tire changes everything. With long-lasting tires in place, those drivers were back on the road to saving money. Michelin Hydro Edge tires last up to 33,000 miles longer. Michelin, a better way forward.
All right, folks, we got our tackies ready, and you see in the background, Gene is getting his mules ready. So, Wiley, here shortly, we're going to be on the road.
Yeah, I understand that Gene is using a different kind of harness on his mules. What did he tell you over there when he was packing them up?
You know, this has been quite a treat already. We're going to be more intelligent at the end of this ride, Wiley. But Gene was telling me about a traditional Dillon County hitch. You know, some of the old timers would explain it more. I think when we catch up with him on the road, he's going to explain that to us. But I think it's a nice, cool morning, and the mules and the horses are a little fresh this morning. So,
well, that change in weather, it's been a good one. But it's going to be a nice, cool ride for all of us and for the horses and the mules. But it's quite interesting watching them back those mules up to that wagon and getting it hitched up, and it looks like This isn't their first rodeo.
Well, I tell you, folks, we've done quite a few things on horsetails, and this is a first, Wiley, and I'm excited. And I know the audience, I know y'all looking forward to it, and we are too. So here in a few minutes, Gene's going to give us a little more hands-on.
Well, I look forward to it, David. I'm so excited that Gene has invited us down. This is our first time ever taking part in this.
Gene, we're getting ready to get started.
Yep, another year.
Well, Gene, how long you been doing this?
This is my 23rd year.
Wow.
We've been driving the mules for 6. This the wagon train, taking the wagon train down. This is our 6th year doing this, raising money all the way.
Well, we're really excited. I know you're going to show us some beautiful back roads, making it all the way to Myrtle Beach. And folks, it's amazing what we're getting ready to do. Gene, just kind of tell the folks a little bit what we can see today and how long you're going to be on the road.
Well, we try to get 16 and a half miles a day, David. You know, not be easy on the animals, give us time to get in and set our camp up. We're going to follow the North Carolina-South Carolina line all the way down to North Myrtle Beach. We'll cross the line probably 6 to 10 times.
Wow.
And, you know, zigzagging, staying on farm to market roads. And we'll set camp up and cook. Well, tonight we're so close to home, my wife's going to bring us groceries, so we'll lighten up on us. But it's a good adventure, you know, camping out, being with your animals 24 hours a day, you know, fighting the
well, Gene,
elements.
you was telling me you was born right across the line in Robeson County. You've
Yes,
been
sir.
here at this farm for how long?
We moved here, bought this farm in 1997.
Wow.
Moved in here from Lexington County, South Carolina.
Okay.
The U.S. Army in Vietnam took me away from here a long time ago, and
Right.
we were able to move back in 1997.
You got a gorgeous place. We were talking earlier, and I know we're going to be talking a lot in the next few days. Tell us about the rig you got on these draft mules, Gene. And I did say right, I just draft mules right here.
Right, these are big draft animals. The mules themselves, one Jim on the left hitch over here is 9 years old. He's out of a cross mare, Belgium Percheron cross, out of about a 15 and a half hand jack. And Sam is in the right hitch. He's a little 4-year-old. He's made 2 trips to the business. It'd be his 3rd
You
trip.
had him down as a 2-year-old?
Yeah,
Wow.
took him down, and he didn't do any work. He just kind of followed along.
Okay, yeah, getting used to it, yeah.
Side the wagon, ponied him down there, so to speak.
Okay, awesome.
And the harness we're using this year, we got away from the old leather, heavy leather harness. We're going back to the standard, the harness that I grew up as a child using, just old cloth back band. Woo, yeah, Sam. Woo, woo, stand easy, whoop, whoop. Good boys, good boys.
Yeah, because they a little squirrely. It's nice this morning.
Yeah.
They feeling their oats.
Yeah, this cool weather's got them on the end here. But we're going back to the old cloth back band, the trace chains, the light harness, you know, what most of the farmers in this area used when I was a child growing up. And hopefully we had some difficulties this morning, but we worked through them. And
Well, this ain't your first rodeo, Gene. I can tell that.
Yeah.
You put them right in the.
it'll be easier hitching up in the morning, and it'll be lighter on the mules. You know, that
Right.
leather harness about 150 pounds. Yeah, it's with collar and bridle and everything.
Well, with that, did you have to make some of this old-timey stuff custom made, or is it still being made?
I was able to pick it up through the years and just
Okay.
hang on to it. The cloth back bands I found at a sale, and was able to hang on to it through the years. And the trace chains, you can see they're all rusty. We've had them in a barrel just sitting in the barn, you know.
Well, also, I pulled up here this morning and I said, Gene, you got a new wagon. Gee, I know what you did all summer.
We've been working on this thing about 90 days. We started
That's all?
At ground zero. We built the frame. A friend of mine did the welding for us at night and on the weekends. My wife and I built the box. We got ash wood tongue, single trees, breast tree, all the main frame on it's ash wood, hard ash. The box is juniper wood. We ordered the bows out of North Dakota from Hanson Wheel and Wagon out there. They're great about their products. When you order it, they send you what you order, you know.
Wow.
So, and the canvas top was made over in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Custom made, I'm sure.
Yeah, we had to take the wagon over and put it in his shop, and it took him about a week to get all my little windows put in and everything. But when I close it up, it's airtight in here. We stay warm. You know, when the temperature drops Saturday or Sunday, like they say, I'm gonna light my little gas heater in here, and I'm gonna be fine.
Well, folks, you can't see it. You'll see it later out on the road. He's got a, what do you call it? Just a little buggy in the back, or?
This is my little trailer that we've got all the saddle riders, their tents and camping gear and everything. We got feed for the animals. That's how we move it in the trailer.
Well, Gene, I want to, folks, look right here. It's pretty neat. His steps out of old horseshoes, and man, you need to put a patent on those spoke rims there, Gene. How'd you come up with that idea?
My friend that done the welding, we just kind of sat and kind of cut and welded and cut it back loose and welded some more and cut it back loose until we finally came up with something that worked.
Well, Gene, I've been wanting to say this since, folks, I was a little boy. Head them up and let's move them out.
I'm with you, David. Let's go.
Myrtle Beach, here we come.
Up there. Boop, boop.
Hi, my name is Debbie Holland. I'm from Suffolk, Virginia, and I want you to stay tuned for more Horsetails.
Horsetails is being brought to you today by Myrtle Tire Service. Right on in and see Richard and his fine family of technicians to take care of your automotive needs. By Nationwide, and folks, you know when the PD Cowboy rides, he rides with Nationwide on his side. Ken Law Supermarket, Fayetteville, North Carolina, featuring a full line of Carolina Fresh 3-pack frozen poultry program.
There once was a hungry road that wouldn't let drivers get very far. It wore out their tires, forcing them to buy new ones time and time again. Then along came the Michelin man who proved the right tire changes everything. With long-lasting tires in place, those drivers were back on the road to saving money. Michelin Hydro Edge tires last up to 33,000 miles longer. Michelin, a better way forward.
When you hear the name Earnhardt, you might not immediately think of farming. But my family's been at it for years, just like Nationwide Agribusiness. In fact, they're the #1 farm insurer in the nation. And with their On Your Side Farm Review, you get a personalized policy for your farm with the coverage you need at the right price for you. My family's trusted Nationwide for more than 30 years. To find out why, call your Nationwide Agribusiness agent today.
Folks, the PD Cowboy rides for the brand, and my brand is Carolina Fresh Foods. We have a new product out on the range, so ride on into your local Piggly Wiggly or other fine retailer and ask for Carolina Fresh Premium Leg Quarter. And folks, if they don't have one in the corral, tell them to get cracking and call the old PD Cowboy and his elite posse of chicken wranglers. Carolina Fresh Foods, the name says it all. We are Freshalicious.
comfortable ride. I feel like now I'm in the Cadillac. Rachel, this is Rachel Medley. She is from Wagram, North Carolina, but you said you're originally from California. We'll get to that in a second. But what brought you out here and got you in the wagon train?
Well, like I said, I am from California, so I'm not a Southern girl by birth, but there's more of the South in me, I think, than there is in California. I joined the Army in 2005 and got stationed at Fort Bragg, which is near here. And I've always been a very outdoors-oriented person, and so, you know, and I've always had a passion for horses, so the driving and the, you know, sort of the just tootling around the trails really appealed to me. And when I met Gene Driggers, that really inspired me to get into it more and really start doing it, you know, more as a passion than a hobby. And got out of the Army last year, and I still live in the South.
So now, when did you start, so how long ago was it when you started driving horses and getting involved with this?
I've been driving horses. I've been riding most of my life, but I've been driving for about the past 3 or 4 years. And I met Gene about 4 years ago on another cross-country trip that we did in North Carolina. And he told me about this beach ride. And the first year I didn't do it. I just listened to all the stories and sort of heard about how much fun it was.
Right.
And then I decided I was gonna ride. So last year I went on this ride, but I rode a saddle horse. And that was pretty tough. Your rear end screams at you for a while. So this year, a friend had these horses that needed some work, so I brought them along and got them ready. And he built this wagon and put it all together.
Well, it's really, really nice. Now, what do you kind of have to know to drive a team of horses? Because you know, you're controlling 2 horses, and they've got to be working in unison. So what's kind of a key to it?
It's hard to explain. I don't know. It's one of those things that you do, but it's hard to teach. But the interesting thing about driving is, unlike riding, you don't have the aid of your seat and your legs. So that's a big communication tool that you don't have. And so you have to think about what your cues are going to look like and feel like to the horse. And the interesting thing about driving a team, driving a pair like this, is there's not only the communication between me and this horse and me and this horse, but they're communicating with each other as well.
Right.
So, you know, you have to kind of help them out. This one's a little lazy.
Yeah.
So I kind of get onto her and try to keep her in the traces. And you can watch them and see how they're communicating, their body language, and they do feed off each other. So if one is kind of amped up, it's a chain reaction. But it's very, very, very rewarding, because when you do have success and you make progress, I mean, there's probably 2,500, 3,000 pounds of animal right there.
And you got them in your hands.
So it's very rewarding.
Yeah. Now, what kind of horses are these that are being used today?
So these are draft crosses. You get the big bone, thick, and the pulling strength of the draft, but then you also get the hardiness and the athleticism of a quarter horse. So these are, their mothers were sisters, and they were a Belgian Suffolk cross. So their coloring comes from the Belgian side. Their father was a big 16-hand paint, brown and white paint horse. That's why you see the one horse that's got a blue eye. So the paint horse is similar in build to a quarter horse. So they've got that athleticism, the nice compact bodies, but they have the big shoulder and the big driving hind end of a driving horse.
And do they seem to, they look very, very well taken care of, very muscular.
I sort of spoil them.
Well, I mean, do you see at the end of a day of driving like this that they are tired, or do they seem to handle it pretty well?
They handle it pretty well. These horses are fit. I have 12 horses on my farm, and I have a nonprofit where I have military families come out and enjoy a wagon ride or a horseback ride. So I use these horses as essentially therapy horses for military families. So they do this all the time. So they may not win at a cross-country running race, but they can walk with weight behind them all day. So, but when they do get tired, you can tell. By the end of the second or third day, I won't be holding them back.
Holding them back,
they
yeah.
Definitely be doing right about what she's doing right now.
Just trotting along, plodding along.
Yeah, they get in a rhythm just like any other horse. They realize now this is not a 15-minute joyride. We're going to be in it for a while.
For the long haul.
And they're like, okay, we'll just settle in.
Well, Rachel, I need to just sit back and relax.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Thank you.
How can you not?
I know.
You cannot be sitting behind a pair of horses, riding down the road, and be in a bad mood. It is absolutely impossible.
That's why we're here today. Well, Rachel, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm just going to sit back and ride now. Let you drive.
I'll hand these over when I get tired.
Okay.
Margaret Gwynn, a newfound trail riding friend from Suffolk, Virginia. We were doing some small talking, and you've been riding how long?
Since I was 3. That's 58 years.
Wow, pretty awesome. Well, what's got you in Dillon County, South Carolina?
The American Heart Association ride. This is my third trip cross country.
Well, tell the folks a little bit. You arrived in the Gene Driggers' place last night, right?
Yeah, I got there about 6 o'clock last night, and we pulled out this morning.
Right. And you found, how'd you meet Gene?
I went to a trail ride at the Southern Pines hunt camp with Kenny Trundle.
Right.
And Gene was there, and they got talking about the Heart Association ride, and I asked him if they were serious about the invite, and he probably regrets saying yes. This is year 3, so you have to ask him if he regrets saying yes.
Well, I've enjoyed riding with you today. Tell us a little bit about the horse you're on today.
She's a Peruvian. She's 15 years old, and she is the most awesome horse in the world.
And did you say, was she a rescue, or what you had mentioned that
she had been abused,
right,
but she wasn't a rescue.
Right.
And she rescued me.
I hear you. You just saying last year you was riding another little horse?
I was riding a Tennessee Walker.
Right.
And she couldn't handle the competition of the trail ride. She wanted to be out in front.
Well, this is probably a little different than what you used to do when you're trail riding, staying out for how many nights and days?
I usually go for 9 days if I go away from home, but this is the only one that I stay in the tent overnight.
Right, okay. Well, listen, I'll probably see you at a good prime rib supper Friday night. Does that sound right?
That sounds awesome.
Well, it's nice meeting you, and I think we'll see each other again.
All right.
And we thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am Kenneth Derrick from Anderson Creek, North Carolina. Stay tuned for more of the PD Cowboy.
Horse Tales is being brought to you today by King Street Auction Company, the leading auction company in the Southeast. Dillon Meat Center, featuring Carolina Fresh Poultry Parts. Ride in and see Douglas and Terry Wayne Jackson today. By the South Carolina Agricultural Department. It's a matter of taste. Folks, the PD Cowboy arrives for the brand, and my brand is Carolina Fresh Foods. We have a new product out on the range, so ride on into your local Piggly Wiggly or other fine retailer and ask for Carolina Fresh Premium Leg Quarter. And folks, if they don't have one in the corral, tell them to get cracking and call the old PD Cowboy and his elite posse of chicken wranglers. Carolina Fresh Foods, the name says it all. We are Fresh-alicious.
2014 is the year of the horse. The South Carolina Department of Agriculture is working to promote your horses and your business. We are working to open new areas for trail use and to let the public know how important horses are. South Carolina has world-class horses and horse people. From race horses to show horses, we have the best. The South Carolina Department of Agriculture, letting people know how important horses are.
There once was a hungry road that wouldn't let drivers get very far. It wore out their tires, forcing them to buy new ones time and time again. Then along came the Michelin man who proved the right tire changes everything. With long-lasting tires in place, those drivers were back on the road to saving money. Michelin Hydro Edge tires last up to 33,000 miles longer. Michelin, a better way forward.
Well, folks, we're ending up the ride here with Gene Driggers on this lonely stretch of Dillon County dirt road, Wiley.
Well, they just had a lunch break, and this is actually where we're getting off this train. and we're going to let them go on down to the beach. But I've really enjoyed riding with them today. I've not been able to ride like this, and for a good cause too. So I know I've had a good time, David.
Well, folks, Gene Driggers does it first class. As you see, they ride by. They've got numerous more days out on the trail, and I say Gene did this wagon by hand. He's got his heart and soul in it. And folks, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably try it again next year. What do you think, Wiley?
I think so too, David. And if you folks at home would like to join Gene Driggers on his wagon train down to the beach, you can get in touch with him through us on Facebook, through our website, horsetailstv.com. And if you've enjoyed what you saw today, follow us all week long on Facebook and Twitter.
And folks, like I said many times at the close of Horsetails, this is what makes America great. Gene Driggers riding for a great cause. And folks, we're gonna show you several more shows coming up after this about what goes on, money raising for the heart ride. America does have heart, folks, so stay tuned for next week. We're gonna have a great time here closing this show up. And until next week, keep your reins low and your hands quiet, and God is blessing our great country. Wow.
Well, happy trails.